Yeah, I was late. I was late. I was late. Kill me. Kill me. I was late. What's up, Coach D, man? What's going on?
How's it going, Mike?
You already know slow motion better than no motion.
Absolutely.
Give me 1 second. I already went live, but just give me 1 sec. I was playing outside talking to somebody and it just got away from me. But give me, what's going on? How's everything, Coach?
Very, very busy weekend. Still got a very busy night ahead of me. But productive, just getting ready for, a game week, finishing out, kind of mini camp or whatever you call it, training camp. We got another week to get ready. Um, Looking forward for everybody to, get their season underway. A lot of us put a lot of work in over the past couple of years, even through, the COVID season last year. And I'm sure all the coaches and parents and especially the players are looking forward to going out there and, actually getting a season in and competing versus each other to see who the best teams are and best programs are in each division. I think every division is going to be competitive from top to bottom. And I think Rhode Island has a lot of great players that are going to get their platform this season to get a chance to get an education or play at the next level. So I'm sure everybody's excited, just like we are, to get out there and compete and prepare for our opponent on Friday night.
Oh yeah, Friday night being the first exhibition game, because let's call it what it really is. It's an exhibition game, and I'm hearing a lot of coaches talk about you guys not having scrimmages and not really having a lot of contact, and a lot of coaches think that it's setting the kids up to get hurt this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody has an opinion. Not everybody's going to agree with anything 100% of the time. Like as far as us, we're blessed to just have a season, so we're gonna, like I said, do the best we can. I agree. It is going to be tough to have the student athletes prepared, but I'd rather this is kind of a better option for me than nothing. So we're just going to get our team prepared the best we can and use this weekend as kind of like the combination of both and get work our kinks out and get our kids some experience and get our staff some experience and work on the whole travel thing and like I said, we're just looking forward to competing on Friday night and getting the season started.
Excellent, man. Yo, let's bring our guy up in here, Coach Fortin. You know what I mean? Coach Fito, I wanted to get both you guys on. If you guys turn your phone sideways, it'll give you a nice wide view. I'm just saying. It's up to you. See? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. What up, Coach? Coach Fortin, man. Tell me you just waking up again.
No, just doing some film and stuff. Just bringing out some film, looking at some film from practice, looking at some film what we're gonna try to do next week.
That's what I'm talking about. Coach D, you already know Coach Fortin.
Yes, sir.
And Coach D, you guys are really getting D4 popping, man. And, the rivalry really, it started going back before Coach D, I think, came around with Situate, right, Coach Fortin? Didn't you have some good competitive games with Situate?
We only played one game. When I was the assistant, we played them, and then we played it my first year as a head coach. It wasn't really a rivalry. It wasn't really. I didn't know the coach, so it's good that I got to know Derek a little bit. So you kind of have that, not rivalry, so to speak, but you have some kind of familiarity and a sense of who that coach is, and it makes it for a better game.
Absolutely. Coach, we had the pleasure to have his host team for a week or two and get some work. And it was great for our team as well. Coach always puts a good product. Another example was last season. He did a great job, him and his staff and his program. And I'm sure they're improving, grinding, working hard every day. And, Coach is going to get his boys ready and they're going to be ready to compete as long as he's there. So I'm sure his team's looking forward to having a nice, successful season. Again, we're going to do our best every weekend, at Situate, and we're just glad to have a season in front of us that we can prepare for.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Last year, we graduated a lot of guys, so replacing them is going to be.
Go ahead, you guys can go, man. I'm just trying to share this. Go ahead.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were asking questions. No, like I was saying, I lost. I think we graduated 12 seniors. So in D4, that's huge. That's a big. Them are some big holes to fill. So hopefully, some of our guys that played last year, we got a lot of first year seniors that came aboard. We had a pretty good sign up. So they are working hard, but the summer's a little different this year. We started late, and then we had some kids that needed to enjoy summer vacation. And as a coach, although you want them there, but you also understand the fact that, they need to have a life. So, we just started getting all our kids together at once. And this past week was the first time. As soon as mandatory came, we had everybody. So now it's starting to get at it. We're starting to work hard. We're starting to, gel a little bit. But we're still behind. It's no secret. I tell the coaches that I talk to, my staff knows that we're a little behind right now, and it just every day we just have to improve it and just get better. Having the first week bye is really going to help us catch up to where we need to be.
What do you guys have for a matchup this week, Coach?
We got Narragansett. So because we don't have a scrimmage, a joint practice, I reached out to Coach Blessing and told him
Yeah,
this is our scrimmage.
yeah,
My
absolutely.
starters are not playing the whole game. They're going to get in a little bit. Our position competition guys are going to get in to finish the first half, and all our young kids are going to play majority of the second half.
Yeah, we're in a similar boat. We're just gonna do, like I said, come out and prepare, just like you guys are for your opponent. Win, lose, or draw, it really doesn't matter. You win by 100, lose by 100. It's just kind of like we're gonna take that as kind of like you're doing a position battle grade. Try to improve our staff, try to improve our kids from day to day, from game to game. And that's it. I'm looking forward to a great season. We got you guys week 2. That's going to be a great test for us. I mean, every week's going to be a test for us, but that's going to be a real test. Playing a playoff team. And you guys have a very strong program.
I mean,
Dig, I appreciate it. I saw the difference, from the previous coach to what you guys do, especially in the 7-on-7. You guys are loud over there, which I appreciate. I like that. I always get talked to, Coach, man, you're loud. So seeing another coach passionate about it, that's just 7-on-7. I knew right away the guys were going to be a different coaching staff. And when you made adjustments to what we did, that was big for me to see. So I wish you guys the best of luck, except for obviously week
Appreciate that
2.
for sure.
But
Yeah, we appreciate that, and like you do your thing, and like everybody's kind of like their own entity. We don't try to kind of like duplicate anybody. You're yourself, I'm myself, and people either like us or don't.
yeah,
And that's kind of like the way we do. Our focus is kind of on our programs. We kind of block out the white noise, both of us, and it is what it is. We both have mutual friends who respect us and we're competitive against, and
yeah,
that's just our situation. I'm hoping to build my program like you guys have, and get us into the playoffs in our future. And build like in the community and just get student athletes to the next level. And try to get kids into it, to play in college and things like that. And that's my goal as the head coach of this team.
yeah. No,
that's what it's about. Both you guys have experience, like not experience, but both you guys took over teams that was in the dungeon, in the basement. Before Coach Fortin took over EWG, he's gonna like this one. They were the 6th worst team in the nation.
man, you keep mentioning that, man.
I know you're gonna dead that.
Man, you just
Well, see, he shouldn't take it personal because he wasn't the coach of that program. So he takes that program over, and within the first year, if it wasn't for human error, he's in the playoffs.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're all protective. We're all kind of protective of our crown and our kingdom, So it's like that's a reflection of us if we take over and how we do from that point on. So I get where Coach gets a little tense. I would too.
Well, I'm going to see where you are too, Coach G. I'm going to see where you are in the nation.
I use it too. I use it as motivation for my staff, myself, kids. It's also a measuring stick to let you know if your program's going in the right direction, kind of in other people's eyes.
That's what it's about, man. It's growing, and each year is different. I think this year is going to be very different for us. Again, I normally start when the seniors their last day of school, is when my season, my off season starts, my summer program starts. Not being able to start to July 6th, and then kids on vacation and stuff like that. It's pretty tough. So it's something different, and we're just we're faced with adversity once again. We just have to get better at it and continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely different from when I played, up for Sandy and in the Great East Providence High School system. It's a lot of things that change. Physicality of the game, the approach to the game, nutrition, weight room, things like that, commitment by the coaches, you got the youth program, and it's just like it's a lot more in tune, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You played for East Providence, Townies.
Yeah, I was blessed enough to go to East Providence High School. I played 97 through my years in high school, and we won 2 Super Bowls. When I was there, my sophomore year and senior year. I coached over there and was able to be on part of staff when they won a Super Bowl, I believe in 08, in 09 when we had an appearance. So it was a good learning experience for me as well. So, EP is a great program, and I wish them guys nothing but the best. Love the kids in the community as well as the staff over there. So, big shout out to those guys. I hope them guys, with the new school and the great feeder program and the youth coaches over there. I was a coach over there. With the East Providence Junior Townies, they do a great job. They have so many kids, boys and girls, and parents committed to help the youth in the city of East Providence, and that's what it's about. That's where I live. I appreciate them, and they don't do anything but just coach their kids, try to improve their program, and things like that.
My other friend went there, Eric Rube.
Oh yeah,
they should put a statue of him in the middle of that beautiful.
There you go.
Rotary, but I love I love their new facility. Like that place looks very, very, very nice. And East Providence, Pawtucket has the same amount of people. Pawtucket needs to have one high school.
That's out of my district.
No, of course it is. No, yeah,
but hey, I agree with anything that those coaches want to do. If they want to have a meeting in the minds, whatever's best for their town and they feel for their program and their community and their area, I support 1,000%.
Yeah, no, I like East Providence. Always had they were strong back in the day, like coming up in the '90s and stuff. East Providence was a team that people mentioned, and you knew they were coming to play.
Yes, sir. A lot of Townie pride that still lives in the city. So we just want to make sure that every team, every year is a brand new year, and everybody gets a shot. And everybody make sure that every year they give those kids a clean slate. And give them another chance to fight off in their spot. Before a lot of kids improve in the off season as well as coaches. So to every kid that kind of pencils kids in, please give every kid a shot. Let them kids go out there and compete, and ultimately put your best kid in or whatever you feel is best. But just give every child an opportunity to try out for a position that they like, and if they don't, do a good job, then you can move them. I feel like that's the fair way to do it, and that's kind of the way I've always done it. But that's just us, and everybody has their way, and I support their way. It is what it is. That's why programs are different. Everybody builds their kingdom a little bit different, and that's what makes it great. And that's why every game's different and competitive in every single league around the world. So.
If you're listening on the Can We Keep It Real sports edition, I think you have to authenticate for me to see your name. It just says Facebook user. But if you're on the podcast page, I think your name will come up. Someone gave Coach D a shout out. People really come and check out the podcast when Coach D's on. Same as Coach Fortin. Coach Fortin been around since I started this.
Yeah, I've been around for a while. Anytime I get a chance to talk about my program, me, I jump on and just talk about the kids, talk about the program, how it's growing, and the excitement of Rhode Island football.
Now, Coach D, this week we're going to be up at Johnston. I'm going to be there on your sideline. People say that your squad is loud over there, that your staff is very eccentric, very excited.
Hell yeah, they are. Hey, they're passionate.
we have a lot of
man. Hey, I get excited. You mentioned his staff, man. I got excited.
And that's what it is, Coach. Some guys, Coach, like I said, everybody's team is different and their program's different. We go a lot of energy. We go in 2-hour blocks. That's it. We work our kids hard. We get them focused. We try to get the most out of everybody, not only the kids, but the coaching staff as well. Like I said, hustle inspires hustle is my saying over here. So if they see me working, they're gonna match my grind. That's kind of our saying, match my grind. there's no inherited kingdom over here. Everybody got to carry your own plate. You got to work, every single day. No one gets no free lunch.
That's it. Nah, it was great. I love it, man. It gets me excited. They
Yeah,
started yelling,
and that's what it is. It's like no showmanship, nothing like that. It's just, hey, everybody does what they need to do. We have a lot of former players on our staff, that get juiced up, and sometimes it reminds you of when you used to play and you get caught up in the moment. But that's the competitiveness and every human being, and that's why we do it.
Shout out Coach
you know,
G. Shout out Coach G, Coach Valley, Coach Jai, Coach
yeah,
Brito, Coach Eddie. You know what I mean? Maniac himself. See, I remember all you guys.
yeah.
Coach
We
Valley
appreciate
should be
that.
your spokesman.
And
Coach
I gotta
Valley.
and I gotta say something too for all the assistant coaches. I started there. And was blessed enough to be around some great coaches in my coaching career, and now I'm fortunate enough to have my own program, as well as coach has. But assistant coaches are what kind of keeps the balloon in the Macy's Day Parade afloat. You know what I mean? Like they do every little thing that we need. To get the kids prepared, the weight room, the follow up, the communication on and off the field. It's like their Bible is that high of things that they can do to help improve our football program. So all the assistant coaches, shout out. We love you, man. And you're the best thing going in the game. And all you guys, I hope, strive to be head coaches or coordinators or whatever the jump it is in your life, make it. Don't be afraid to take that risk. Go gain some knowledge, talk to some guys that spit the same language as you, and try to up your game. There's nothing wrong with stealing something from this coach and that coach and putting your own remix on it and and turning it into your own. That's kind of like the coaching profession. That's what all of us probably do in a way. And we've taken things along our journey and we've made our own recipe, and everybody got a different soup. And we're going to see at the end of the year whose soup's the best.
Coach Fortin actually, he told me at one point that he wants all his coaches to move up the chain. He said, I don't expect any of them to really stick around.
Yeah,
I
but
want them to move up the
you
ladder.
have to understand, Mike. You have to understand that not everybody's like that. They sometimes coaches are, selfishly wanting to keep a guy, to improve their team, and I get that. That's the competitive nature in every coach. Please stay with us. Come on, we can win it this year. Nothing's guaranteed. If that coach wants to, promote himself or progress in that, I support any coach 1,000%. But I also get when coaches try to, keep their loyal guys who are committed and kind of know the system and they know they can depend on them. So it's a double-edged sword, so that's why you get some guys who are like me and Cliff and, try to do that. And then you get some guys who aren't. But either way, there's no right or wrong. I don't think, you can run your program any way you want. But for me, we try to promote anybody through coaches, like little camps, anything I can promote them to go work and get their name out there, talk with you. I'm about that. Like Cliff has a great staff. It was very nice to me and nice to our kids. And they got a lot of knowledge and things like that. So I'm sure he's, very, very, thankful for his staff as well,
Coach Fortin, what do you got to say?
Absolutely. I can't. I mean, I'm going to say the same thing he just did because it's true. It's facts right there. There are some coaches that want to keep their staff, and like Coach D just said, I understand that. I think that with my coaching staff, if they want to grow and become a head coach, my job is to help nurture that, give them the experience, and give them the knowledge that I got, and then the knowledge that I didn't get, as an assistant to move up in the ranks. Right now, my special teams coordinator started as a volunteer. He stood with me for a couple of years, and some positions opened up. He applied for it, he interviewed for it, and I like what he brought to the table. And now he's a coordinator. He's a special teams coordinator, and he's also on defensive line and offensive line position coach. So he grew in my system. I think he'll stick around for a few more years. But I got some other coaches that are looking at head coaching positions and wanting to grow. You got to encourage it. That's how you grow your program. For me, and anyway, and I know Coach D feels the same way. As you see these other coaches grow, all of a sudden, my staff is head coach in 5 different schools. That says something about your program, not just by your wins and losses, but by how your coaches are growing with their own coaching abilities.
Yeah, that's something honestly, Mike, that coach just said, like about the wins and losses. Like when I first got the job, going 0-2 was like life shattering for me in the offseason. I was like, how do we have no wins? It's like, what am I gonna do? And as you kind of like jump into your mold, you're like, all right, let's build a program. It's not gonna be overnight in a COVID with 20 kids. You know what I'm saying? In a program that you're building from where it was left off. No disrespect, but it's just like, it was like we had a lot of work. For what we had to do. And I feel like, we put the work in last year. So it's just great to have, a schedule in front of us, which starts this week. I'm sure all of us feel the same way. We can't wait for, Thursday night to be over and wake up and have a game, go out the whole school day or whatever everybody got for their work day, jump on that bus and go play a game versus somebody.
Coach
Yeah,
Fortin, 2 years ago, you started out 0-3, and then you came against North Smithfield. You want to talk about that story and how that game changed your season?
yeah. So we started off. We didn't know exactly what we had. We had a grind, and we lost. We lost bad, and we just couldn't click. And I just told my players. Actually, my players came to me and said, "Coach, how are we gonna fix this?" And I'm like, "Hey, we just got to tweak a couple things, move people around, and prepare and get better." And then we really tuned in that week of North Smithfield, where we came out. In EWG, when we're a D4, and their first game was always a D2 team. So mentally, they weren't ready for it. They weren't prepared for it. They hated that game. They didn't want to play it. So I had to change that right from the get-go, and that wasn't easy. Once we played North Smithfield, and I just told them, listen, let's get the wins and losses out of the way. Let's talk about pride. Let's talk about just being competitive. Let's get out there and compete. If it was up to me, there'll be no scoreboard. Let's just compete. Let's do our job, and let's play for one another. And that clicked to them, and we just went and we just played. And I'll tell you, it was a great game. That's where Coach West was still over there, and we gave it to them. We had the lead. We had them making mistakes. They had to make adjustments. We made adjustments to their adjustments. Ours were working. And I'll tell you what, he came out in the second half and he made some adjustments that, really prevailed, and they end up winning the game. But what stuck out for me and my staff and the players were, he came over and said, "Hey, I got to be honest, you guys played us the toughest all season." He goes, "I like what you did, and you had us nervous where
Yeah.
we didn't, not that we didn't expect it, but you came ready to play." And then from that point on, I think we went on a pretty good winning streak. So you never know when it's going to come.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the toughest thing for my kids is like, and me, to learn how to win. You know what I'm saying? Some teams that have lost for so long or never been successful, like the short success, or even year to year, some kids have never won. We got a young team, a lot of first year players. Even last year we had a small freshman class, and the same this year. So we don't have a very in depth, really deep team with a lot of experience. So those mistakes are going to happen. And as I mature as a head coach, I have to understand that, and I kind of do now, by help with colleagues and things like that. So, it's definitely good to talk to colleagues that are in the same position and kind of get their thoughts on certain things. You don't beat yourself up as much about it. You have to realize that you can't, fix every cut with a Band-Aid. Sometimes you need to get in depth and look at yourself. So it's just like a lot of things as a head coach that you don't really understand until you kind of get the position. Things pop up out of nowhere. But football is a great game. I'm excited for the preparation. We teach my kids how to prepare as a young team to try to go in there and get better and just execute. Even for the small amount of kids that we have and small amount of players that we will put in for this game, just get out and at least just do them right and do them hard. That's it. That's all I'm asking. And we'll always compete as a staff, and we really preach it to our program that we always compete. So hopefully, Mike, when you come on Friday, you'll see us kind of, repping our mantra, hustle inspires hustle, and we'll see how the game goes.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. I'm really excited to get the season underway. I'm more excited about this. The week one. But it's going to be nice to see kids playing this weekend. All over Rhode Island. There's games that are going to be everywhere. We had the schedule, the injury fund schedule on here. And it's also nice seeing kids go on to play at the next level. Right here, Michael Garafolo Westerly kid. He's now the starting center for the Bears up there in Bridgewater Bears. So congratulations to him. We had a lot of Rhode Island kids that touched the football field this week in college.
Hey, we're growing. As long as everybody keeps going on the same road, the state's going to grow and grow and grow. And that's what everybody who's a real football lifer should want, is their surroundings as well as, their home to be going in the same direction. Let's get as many kids as we can to get out there and play and be part of your program, create a good experience for them. In high school, keep them, off the streets. Unfortunate news, got a lot of street news this football week. But a lot of football families, and RIP to anybody who was involved. I hope you and your families, wish you all the best from our football program. A kid that unfortunately went down the other night. And he's in heaven is a kid who played for me in Disney when we were on the 2011, 2010 East Providence team. When we won the regional championships, we went back to back. Our running back, and God rest his soul, he's no longer with us. So it happens a lot. So let's just stay positive mentors for our kids. Keep our kids, involved. Let's help them further their education. Surround themselves with good human beings. That's why me and Coach are in it. We want to win it more than anybody in the world. Trust me. But we're mentors to kids, and we got to make sure we shape them for men in life.
You know what? Rest in peace to Danny. Definitely, young hitter. Go check out some of his music. And I actually said earlier when you guys are coming on at 2:30 that this podcast is actually dedicated to the life and memory of young Danny, aka Young Hitter.
Yeah. Danny played for the Mount Hope Cowboys. Was a great player for over there, and he just had so much love for all his team. And all those guys. They said he was such a pleasure to have. Playing for like Coach Renz and everybody over there, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very missed by everybody who's ever met him. I know he was in the program, and I would see him around with such a smile on his face. And I hope everybody, blessings for his family as well, and everybody, who knows the player who played for me, Andre, AKA Sticky Rice. He was a great running back, and corner for us, a great kid. And unfortunately, those kids are no longer with us. So let's keep our kids involved. Let's keep our eyes on our youth. And let's keep them off the streets and let's get them involved in things that we can keep them, There's some situations that you cannot control. Kids are just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And that's just life. But everybody, we want to give everybody's condolences, RIP to them and all their families. We wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I shared a piece of a flyer that I made earlier, saying rest in peace to Danny. I didn't have a chance to upload it in the, but it's definitely on the Facebook page. And it's a shame anytime any of these young kids lose their life prematurely. I'm friends with some members of the Fed Hill movement, and they do a cookout every year. And it got bigger and bigger each year, and they do it to the people that we lost along the way.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's crazy, right? Like I'm not even like I'm in my mid-30s, It's like to have double-digit kids that I have coached in my life that are no longer with us. It's just like amazing. It's just like we gotta do the best we can. We gotta enjoy every moment we have because we never know when it's gonna be taken. And I'm blessed to have the situation I'm in. We all wish our situations were better, but it is what it is. Everybody wishes they were millionaires and doing X, Y, and Z. I'm happy with, just, teaching, coaching, being a father, and having my family around and just trying to make these kids in my program grow. That's what I look forward to. I look forward to the competition and growing as a coach and growing as a man.
I knew I had it up here somewhere, rest in power, dedicated to the life of Young Hitter, and also the player that you mentioned today. Yeah, it's tough anytime we're starting to see these people passing away. And we got to prevent that. A lot of this stuff going on the streets. If we can get more kids involved on the field, we might have less.
Yeah, and it's also you know what it is too, Mike. Like let's let some of these inner city, young adults get in the coaching field. Take on more coaches. Let them help your staff in that way and keep them off the streets in that route. You know what I mean? It's almost like when the kids graduate high school. Okay, they're grown men. let's just let them go watch our games and come to our, you know what I mean? If they don't go to college, let's try to keep some of them kids who need a little structure still, you know, around men that are successful in a structured environment, so they can better themselves.
Or Coach Nod said the other day, and shout out to Coach Nod and everything he has going on behind the pads. They're going back to the NFL flag championship game that's going to be held in San Diego. So Rhode Island
That's
team.
unreal. That's unreal with what they're doing in their program over at BTP. You know, they're great leaders of them men. You know, him and Hurlin, everybody involved. They just do such a great job mentoring those young adults and just giving them belief and positivity in their life. And just shout out to them. I hope everybody, you know, can support them in any way that they can, regardless of, you know, if you play them or not. They're doing great things, and shout out to all their hard work and effort. And I wish them all nothing but the best.
And it goes into what you mentioned about getting these other guys back in. When does guys like Hurlin get his chance to step up to the next level? Coach Nod mentioned it the other day, his Juanita Sanchez situation. But do we need to bring guys in that proved themselves, that got in trouble at one point 25, 30 years ago? Should we be giving them second chances? Wes Pennington said, send them coaches to me.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, everybody has their own entitled to their own opinion. And I'm a big second, you know, chance, and even sometimes in third chance time. You got to give people chances. Nobody's perfect, and you can't say, oh, somebody made a mistake once or twice in their life, and you got to give up on them. To me, that's kind of not being committed as a friendship or any relationship to that person, whether it's a kid, colleague, family member, things like that. You know, so I believe in sitting down, hoping that the person has a plan of how they can improve and not let that happen again, and just kind of work together with that person to try to help shape up so that speed bump does not come back and haunt them in the future.
But definitely, yeah. But, congratulations to Behind the Pads. We're going to follow them all the way to San Diego this year. Definitely big shout out to what Emerson Kilgore is doing. Not only he's doing his gym, trying to get football going, working for linemen, he's also a league official, which that is no easy gig. So definitely shout out to Emerson. Get Coach Fortin back up in here. He must have that that Wi-Fi plan you get at Walmart.
That's it. Nah, my battery was dying. I'm like, oh man, so I'm just charging it now.
So you were supposed to do that at 2:00.
Yeah.
And shout out to you guys' wives too, because you know what? A lot of what you guys do, the wives really take a lot of it, because they have to sacrifice you guys, vacations you're not going on, or this you might to do because football. So definitely shout out to
man, everybody's kids too, because my son, it's a lot running from his practice, to my practice and their games, but I would rather have it no other way. He's enjoying himself playing with CLCF over there the other day. They had like this little pep rally where they had over like 300 kids and cheerleaders and coaches, and they just had a great time. They announced every single kid and cheerleader, coach, volunteer, through like a little smoke show, and it was at Cranston West Turf Stadium, and the parents, and they were so involved. They had food trucks and ice cream trucks for the kids for free, and they bought the coaches. It was just a big shout out. So I'm very, very impressed. As a parent, my son Troy has a lot of friends that he's developed on that team, and I decided to put him over there just because it works for me. And I'm not second guessing any decision that I had. And I'm sure Coach has seen youth teams. I know coaches around his youth program, feeder system, and getting them in the right direction. And I hear they're putting out a really good product, and they're working hard. So let's develop our youth, and let's just keep everybody grinding.
Definitely. Welcome back, Coach Fortin.
Yeah, it's good to.
He needs definitely.
You said about the youth.
I
had to go to a game today, just to go. I mean, it's football that much. So EWG, they actually won a game today. So they're back on. On the winning track. They've been shut down for a few years. They're getting back on track, and they were competing today. So, that's what it starts there. It starts at the youth.
It starts in the youth level. He was moving around so much in Johnston. But, it definitely starts in the youth level. And I think with Warwick Powell going under, with Coventry Rams going under, that
Yeah, it's a shame
EWG.
too. Both those programs, are great organizations historically. Regional after regional, and player after player, and great coaches that have been and people who serve our community. And I'm sure everybody's going to rally together to do what they can do to make sure everybody gets back on the field. Whether it's to restore their program or bring them to another program until they can do that. But let's please all try to get kids. I know my friend, my son's friend lives in Warwick, and he was on that team, and he's not allowed to play. So if there's any coaches who could reach out, who's looking for any kids like 13 years old or above, we got kids in Warwick who are looking to play. I know it's kind of late, but if there's any way that those kids could find a way to get on the field, those kids would greatly appreciate that.
No, definitely. We got too many programs where kids are missing out, and why are the kids not coming out to begin with?
It's a lot. I don't know. It's just a generation, or maybe people are scared of the heat or whatever reason it is. But unless you're a former player or you're related to somebody or whatever it is, it's hard to get people out.
Let's see if we can get Coach Fortin back up in here. There we go. Let me change his layout. He's back. He's back, man. You got a better connection, Coach?
I don't know what's going on, man. All of a sudden, it just went blank. I thought my phone died.
You start talking about that EWG Youth League, they have a lot of kids.
This is the most kids they've ever had. So it's good for the high school program, too. I mean, Coventry unfortunately folded, so we got a lot of Coventry kids. But it's good to see, the younger kids out there playing and, competing and having a good time. That's what it's really about. And, I watched a couple of the games today, and it was good to see. So it got me excited to get to practice tomorrow and have our game next week.
Coach D was just saying, it's a shame that leagues like Warwick, Pal are folding, and a lot of youth leagues are folding, and we really need to try to do more to get these kids out.
I don't know why. I don't know why these youth leagues are experience this type of trouble. Warwick, Pal, Coventry. I think there's another organization down in Washington County all folded this year. So it's tough because the kids want to get out there, they want to play, and hopefully everybody has an opportunity to join another team and do something that they love doing.
Legit folded also. Connecticut, one of the Westerly Pee Wee programs that they're a part of, they folded. So I heard of 4 programs folding, but I know Coach D has a meeting to get to within the next hour, so I'm sure he has some things he's got to do.
Yes, sir. Just want to wish everybody who's tuned in and listening, watching, or involved, the best of luck this season, as well as Coach. We'll see you over there, week 2. But I wish you guys nothing but the best, and everybody who's listening have a great season. I wish you guys, playoffs and championships for everybody involved. So, from Situate, from Coach D, and everybody involved, best of luck, everybody.
All right, Coach D. Thank you very much, man. We'll definitely talk soon. I'll see you and the Spartans Friday. Bye, Coach. Well, there he was, Coach D. So, Coach Fortin, man, what else is going on over at EWG?
No, we're just preparing, getting ready for our Narragansett game, and just seeing where the roster moves. Again, we're lucky enough to have that 1 week bye, so we get to see, we get to see Situate for 2 weeks basically, and see, what they're doing good, and see what adjustments that they make, and just get ready to compete against them once our injury is over.
Definitely. Give me a minute. I just want to say a quick shout out to one of our new sponsors that's going to be doing the Westerly Bulldogs interview with Coach Dunbar, Mark Wright, Coldwell Bank is Coastal Home. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate you supporting the program. Definitely check out what Ronnie Roberts got going on. If you're looking to get recruited, R&R Elite Recruits, good deal, over 3,000 schools all set up. So you could definitely get a lot going over there. Emerson Kilgore over at 401 Strength and Fitness has a lot going on. Emerson's getting ready to dive in and do a lot this off season. And you already know, thank you to all, I guess, Coach Fortin this year. All years, every year has been a big part of what we do on the podcast. And thank you, Coach Fortin, for you put me in connection with a lot of coaches. I think a lot of coaches wanted to see if you went down first before they hopped on the podcast.
It's good what you're doing. I do what I can do, but the coaches, you give them an opportunity to talk about their program, and they're not going to say no. So they watched enough podcasts to realize that this is a place to go. It's the best source to cover high school football in Rhode Island. And there's no one else doing it like you. No one else is coming close. And because of this podcast, a lot of our coaches get to talk to one another and just have a normal conversation, but better yet, to get to know each other. So, shout out to you on the podcast, and I look forward to doing another episode.
Oh, yeah, always, definitely. And a lot more people are getting more comfortable. People still a little nervous what to say, don't want to say the wrong thing, which I understand that. It's all a political game when you look on the other side of what's going on. So a lot of people are kind of a little timid, don't want to say this, don't want to say that. And different towns, administrations, they don't play that. They don't want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's why it's, but you're getting more each day, each week. So as the season goes on, I think you're the only one that's really covering high school football, and you're going to be giving interviews, post interviews. So it's something I can't wait for, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your show and more coaches joining.
Yeah, we definitely had some good content. We had Moses Muse on, and them friggin' dogs over there at St. Ray's, Napoleon, shout out him, shout out to their quarterback, Andre, Moses, great kid, Chris Molina, we had Coach Ferraro, yourself, so many great coaches on today. This morning we switched it up. I try on Sunday morning, switch it up a little bit. And we talked to Miss Barbara Roberts, who was Rhode Island's first woman cardiologist, and she was also the doctor to Raymond L.S. Patriarca. So it was nice having her on, and it definitely had a Rhode Island twist into it. And this lady put herself through college, being a single mother, and went on to be quite successful. But I asked her, I was like, when you become a doctor to somebody like Raymond Patriarca, how does that go? And she was like, well, people tell you. She said he was a friend. Jack Cicilline was a dear friend of mine, and said, my friend needs your help. And she said, I took on the responsibility. She said, but it was kind of like the scene out of The Godfather when I'm at Raymond's house ready to go in the office, and you go in there and there's just this little frail old man. But yeah, it was a very, very interesting interview, so we switched it up a little bit today.
Cool.
We both grew up in the city, and Raymond Patriarca was like a legend, at his little vending machine shop up Federal Hill. We were young, but, it's Rhode Island.
Everybody knows everybody.
That's right. He said, I don't know anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. He said, I don't know no Raymond who. No, we were young when he passed away, but Coach Fortin, man, injury fun game, Friday, who is it?
Narragansett, kickoffs at 5 o'clock at EWG.
At EWG, and I guess they can get tickets at the gate.
I don't know how that's. I'm just preparing for what we're gonna do, so I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. We come into play. Well, I didn't know traditionally if they charge for this game, if because of the circumstances the game's gonna be free. I know it's a whole game, right? For the whole league, every team has an entire football game.
Yeah, it's a full game, something a little different. So we're gonna use it as a scrimmage. I already talked to the coach, Coach Blessing, and he's on the same page. It's really tough to get out there and just compete without understanding, who's going to play what position. We had a couple of weeks. We had 4 weeks to prepare, and we're still in our competition mode. We're just now getting the ball rolling. So it's really difficult to see who's going to have what position. How is another player going to beat out another player? They're competing in practice. So the only time we're really going to measure that stick is playing against solid competition. So we're going to use this as a scrimmage. We're going to use this as a stepping stone to where we are, and move forward from there. Once it's over, we're fortunate to have an additional week before we play another game. So at that point, we'll have to make necessary changes, and then prepare for Situate.
Give me a minute. Let me try to get your voice a little better. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, it's coming out very cracky. It's probably because your battery might be low. But all right, Coach, man. Thank you.
Flashing.
Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to all the kids up there at EWG Pro. I hope you're getting more pro kids coming out. Shout out to the wife. Hope she's feeling better. I hope everything works out for you guys.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
All right, Coach Fortin. Have a good day. Coach Fortin, EWG, and we had Coach D on before him. Them dudes are going to have some good football games. I think that's a great relationship, Coach D, Coach Fortin. They building together. How you like the new background? You likes that? Well, I want you to check this quick little clip out. Nope, I already have this one. Okay.
Can We Keep It Real Podcast Network. Shout out to Can We Keep It Real Podcast.